Welcome back, folks, for another video from myself, Fraser. In the previous video we flew from Wellington to Rotorua with the NAC, Wings to the Nation, the last livery to be on these NAC aircraft before they were merged into Air New Zealand. Here we are in Rotorua. We're going to carry on up to Auckland, and then hopefully we'll fly down to, time permits, we'll fly down to Napier. So we'll get in and we'll get this aircraft set up for our turnaround flight. So we will just fix this waypoint, this flight plan, so we have the VOR waypoints. So I find the it's quite hard on the inbuilt Navigraph charts in the game to select, so I just have to type it in. So selecting Rotorua, we want to select it before Hamilton. And then we want to head up to Auckland's VOR, so AA. And look for, I believe it's AA, just, there it is here. And that's going to be after Hamilton. Sweet, so we've got that set up. We're going to just put our payload into our aircraft. And our estimated takeoff weight is going to be 7.1, so we'll just scroll that back to make it that. Right. Now we're going to close that flight plan from our previous flight and open up our new flight plan. And just make sure that looks about right. I'm just going to try and see if I can change this a bit. Right, we will go with that. We'll just enter in Hamilton's VOR into here. We have to enter in a SID, so how do I do that? I think I know what I've done here, so I have to do just going to go back and try that again. For some reason it doesn't want to do that, so just gonna input a flight plan and just do it like that. So we'll get all of our radios all ready again. We've got the Rotorua VOR tuned in. We're going to fly on the outbound 267. And we'll preset 313 for our outbound when we fly over Hamilton. That's done, and then our takeoff, we'll see what the runway they give us. I'm hoping that it's 318 just to keep it. Yeah, it is going to be runway 18. So we'll set this, which is already set for our landing. Right, now we'll set the Hamilton VOR into here. We'll get that ready to go, and our outside temperature is basically 15 degrees, so we want to set our, it's closer to 14, so we'll set it to 35, our fuel trim to 35. For some reason when you first get in the plane it scrolls really fast, but when you do a few flights it seems to slow down quite a bit. So halfway between the 2 and the 4, so about there. Well, the 3 and the 4 I mean. Right, I think that's our, we'll set our V speeds, not that it makes much difference. And we will turn on all the fuel pumps, that's what we'll do. This is one thing you don't want to forget because it bugs it out for some reason otherwise. And we'll reset these, the fuel flow, and we will now close up the doors and we'll get ready for our departure. Right, let's get going, folks. Oh, and we pre-selected our anti-collision lights before. We forgot to turn them off, but that's okay. Luckily it's not too much like real life. Right, we'll start our engines. The creator that did this aircraft, he really has got the sounds thereabouts, which is brilliant. It brings back the memories of being a kid, and the original terminal was in this little box here, and it had a nice view overlooking the apron, which was really nice, and it was nicely situated, so when the 737s would taxi on out, you get this nice warm jet blast, which was a really cool experience. Right, we can now switch this over to engine number 2 and start that. Once the engine is sort of stabilized, we will put it into lock. And then we'll set our fuel trims to 100. And we can select our flaps to flap 16. Then we'll turn this off. Select starboard, turn that to safe and switch that off, and we can now turn on our generators. We can now get rid of the ground power unit, turn on these alternators, get taxi request, and then we can turn on our taxi light, and we're now all set to head on out. And we can we'll select, we didn't do this last time, but we'll select our squawk just because it told us to do it. So we'll right, we'll get on with the show, and we'll turn on the heaters. Because it's not raining, we don't need the fuel heaters or the water methanol injections, so we can just get going. What I am going to do is I'm just going to change the departure to vectors, because we don't have any we don't have any GPSs in this old girl. Right, we are now ready to release the brakes and head on out. And we're just going to go ready for departure, and we're just going to carry on out because I don't think there's anything landing. A nice view, isn't it, seeing this aircraft? And we're just going to set our takeoff trim. And this is the original runway that we're going to use for our takeoff. Alright, and this time we won't forget about our landing lights. We can turn those on. Make sure everything else looks pretty decent. Everything looks pretty good, so we are good to go. Listen to that hum of those starts. Needing a bit of rudder for the to compensate for that almost borderline crosswind. And we're quite light today, so we didn't need much runway for our takeoff. And those landing gear are quite slow and cumbersome to retract. Flying out of Rotorua Airport. And the rest of the flaps can now come up, and we can now just come in and turn these to the open position. And that sulfur point there, folks, that's a very geo-active area in Rotorua. Lots of mud pools and geysers and thermal vents all around there. Right, we're going to now start our flying over the race course, and that's the main CBD down there, the main Rotorua Centre. Now we're going to try and track that outbound VOR. And we're now above that height where I find if I turn on the autopilot, it doesn't do the, it does do the pitch down, but that's alright. Yeah, I think when you're a bit high, it doesn't do that pitch down, which is quite annoying when it does that. But we can't complain though. It is a freeware aircraft, which is brilliant. Flying over Mount Nongataha, which is the mountain that looks over Rotorua. Yeah, Rotorua might not be, it is definitely a nice lake, but it's not quite like the nice dark blue Lake Taupo, nice clean lake to swim in, but Rotorua Lake is a very pretty lake nonetheless. Right, we're now tracking the Hamilton VOR, so we're going to switch over to that. And now that we've got that out of the way, we can now enter in Auckland's VOR, which is 14.8. And it's quite a short flight today, so we're just going to, this segment, so we're just going to cruise on at 11,000 feet. So we'll definitely disregard we'll adjust the cruise altitude that they've got, that SimBrief has set me at. And the runway we're going to land on is 23 left, so that's coming in and over here like so. So we're going to, for this one, we're going to do the radial approach. So we're going to add the RLS, and we're going to add the DME as well. So we'll do the full DME. We sort of overshot our altitude there, but that's all right. And this is where we're going to change our arrival as well. So we're going to right, we're just going to do vectors actually. We'll just see how well the vectors do today. So 320. And we might as well get our RLS set up for our approach into Hamilton, into Auckland, since we're just going to try see how well the vectors do for this. So RLS is going to be 109.9. and our inbound is going to be, our course is going to be 230, so we'll set that. And we're going to set our navigation, our radios to Auckland, so we can just see how far we are from that. But yeah, we're flying over the Hauraki Plains here. Some of the best dairy farming and produce farming in New Zealand. And then over there you got Matamata Airport, which is the gateway to Middle Earth, which is, I don't know if it's still quite famous for that, but I mean, it's been a long time now since the last Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, was released, but that's where the Shire is, down there. I'll just set this to 230 as well, so we're all ready to go. And our minimums is going to be 223. And we'll probably start our descent now as well. We'll get it ready for our 3,000 feet. And we'll start being a bit more aggressive with our descent. Yeah, it's a very short flight. I've done this flight a few times from Auckland to Rotorua, and it just feels like when you drive up there, it's about 2.5, 3 hours, and it feels like a I mean, in New Zealand it's standards, it's not a long drive, but when you're flying up, you just barely blink and you're already in Auckland. It's a very short flight, as we're now coming in over the Firth of Thames. Oh, not the Firth of Thames, the Thames, the Hauraki Gulf. Thames is over there. It's a little town over there. I'm just going to reduce the speed back down and set this to... But yeah, that's the flying over that's the Hanua Ranges there. That's where Auckland gets a lot of its, that's where most of its freshwater reservoirs are stored in this range here, and it's got a very strong population of like a rare species of bird called the kōkako, which is a really lovely sounding species of bird that's found in the forest there, and it's got lots and lots of really nice walks in there. There's some nice waterfalls. It's a really nice place to visit if you're in Auckland and you have a car. That's the key thing, is we don't have amazing transportation system, so you need a good car to get into there. But lots of good walks in here. And just over there is Waiheke Island, which is really famous for its vineyards. 275 is our next heading. And we can now even out our descent rate. But nice little bays all around here. 260. And we're going to be hitting that RLS very soon, so I might just preempt it now because... yeah, I'm just going to engage it now because the headings are basically... but yeah, look at that. That's nice water masking all through here, which is really nice to see. But yeah, the vectoring in this is really good actually. There are a few, like, you just got to use common sense and just when you get to the point where on the ILS you just preempt it, because it's not... So it's giving me all of these headings. Now it goes to the ILS, which is what we want. And we will select this to the ILS. And it's really good. It does the ILS approaches really well too, which is good. Keep our speed up because this is Auckland Airport and it's quite a busy airport to land at. So we will... Looks like there's a few flashing lights there. I'm not too sure what they are. Must be a plane coming into land, so we'll just go peel our speed right back so we don't get told to go around. You'll get nicely configured for our landing because I think we might be needing to go around. Let's get that speed right back. Very low approach speed, so we can take those all the way back. And it's a very windy day here in Auckland. Flying in over the southern motorway here, flying over Rainbow's End and Manukau City Mall. Because once upon a time, oh, we're getting a bit too high, low on our RLS, so hopefully that will fix itself. Usually it's really good with the RLS, but it seems to be having one of those moments, but hopefully that will start decreasing again. We'll just see what happens here. It usually is pretty good with doing these RLSs, but because I changed it at the last minute, might have had a bit of a moment, but we might just go. We're just going to turn off the autopilot and just do it ourselves. Just wanted to see how well it did it, but not this time. And I did forget to do this. But apparently this plane is rated to do Cat 2 approaches, but you'll see this little indication coming up soon when it pops up. I'll just turn this on to As you can see, there's a little runway symbol that pops up. And we'll just exit the runway at this exit here, and we'll taxi on out to our parking bay. Our flaps can come up, our landing lights can come up, and you can see, yeah, that's a little run, that landing symbol there shows you how far you are from the runway. It shows you how much you're lined up. And where is... oh yeah, so it's taking us to where I wanted to park, so we'll just see where that... Right, we'll turn off our pitos up there, and we'll taxi on to our parking stands. Now we'll turn off our taxi lights. Oh, don't want to crash into the other planes. Very tight in here, isn't it? Right, we're not going to park in that one. We're going to park, because I don't have the... we don't want to do pushbacks here. We've got this aircraft that can do these nice tight turns, so we will use this one here. And that is us, folks. We've arrived here at Auckland Airport, and we'll do... I'll just get that power unit, so just remember to click it on up here. And I do like that touch there with the NAC livery on the little ground power unit. And we can now turn off our engines. All of these fuel pumps can come off. And we can open up the doors. Alright, we'll end this flight here, but if you stay with me, I'll do the next flight, which will be down to Napier. We'll see you guys very shortly.